it's just my...
That brain again?
Yeah, I think I worked too hard. I mean, too hard. It's burnt out.
That's good to know though. Yeah.
The self was too active.
Yeah.
But it took me
Too hot.
my temperature down.
Yeah.
I mean, up.
Any
And it
other
was comfortable.
things that you would like to share?
Layers of blankets.
I would love to stay more and kind of go deeper into whatever I've been exposed to. I mean, I would have loved to stay a few days more. I don't know. I just don't want to go. It seems like I could go deeper. You know? That's how I feel.
Maybe we have to organize. That's what Sita also said. We should organize a week long or something. Maybe in the future. Inshallah.
Yes, God willing.
God willing.
Inshallah.
Yeah, it's great to be able, to have this place to come to. Thank you so much. I always feel very grateful to you. I mean, ever since you've come, you've taken charge. Everything is. There's so much going on, and although I'm far away, I just feel very happy about it.
No more compliment? Yes, something more?
No, it wasn't enough. That was the authentic.
Oh.
Then you want.
Well, I think I'd like to talk about the contents of the video. there was really some interesting things, but I can't quite remember what they were, so I was thinking maybe others could help me remember what the main points were. But if people want to talk about the the event itself,
Yeah, this is
do that first.
It's a little bit of a closing meeting. That maybe what you can do is maybe there are some who maybe want to stay on with you after, because after 4 o'clock I also have to go.
Okay.
I'd like to round up at least, and then so this is like a roundup, and then maybe, and you know, you have on the web it is, you know, the date of the video, and you can look up the transcript, right, on jkrishnamurti.org.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can read it.
Yeah.
And it's in the book, if you want to buy the book, it's The Last Talks in Sana. It's a hardback.
Was that really?
Yeah.
Is that what it's
I can
from?
give it to you at the end.
Yeah, this is The Last Talks in Sana. Yeah.
Or do you want it now? Sorry.
So how do you look up the transcripts?
There's a website called jkrishnamurti.org.
Oh,
And it's that's where we put all our text.
I'll take you back.
is there a link to it on the?
Yes, it's on the front page. There's a panel,
Yeah.
and one of the panels is JKO.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it has transcripts from all the videos.
Many.
A lot of them.
I think maybe all of them I can say. Yeah.
So what do you do? Type in the date?
jkrishnamurti.org.
Yeah, that.
And then, yeah, then you
In the
follow-
search,
you
in the
follow-
search
there's a
engine.
search, yeah. You select the language.
Yeah.
You can change
And
like
it's
Hindi.
a written transcript.
Written transcript, correct.
Oh.
But sometimes the videos are also online, right?
And the videos are often on. This video
Some of them are on.
could be, I don't think this particular one is online, but that's all in process actually. If you maybe go next month, it might be online, because we're just in the
Yeah.
process of putting it all on. Yeah.
I want to listen to the one that we heard yesterday, actually, where it was all happy and
Yeah. Happy videos.
jovial.
Then you have to, there's a smiley, so you look for search for all the smiley
You said there was another laughing one too. 85?
Well, it's actually, it's not a laughing one. What it is Krishnamurti in Washington. It's
Yeah.
at Washington D.C. It's at a big hall. Very, he's in suit, tie, sitting there. And then somewhere halfway, I can put it on. Maybe after we close, I can put. And somewhere halfway, he starts to laugh and he can't stop anymore.
Can't stop laughing. They must have been really bored at that time.
No, but it's a very intense video. Like it goes about this and sorrow, and then suddenly he starts to laugh and he doesn't stop.
Wow.
Yeah, you should put that one on.
Okay, that will be the last. If I can find
Put
it.
that on the homepage of the
Yeah.
Comes right up.
So Phyllis, you want to check out?
Yeah. I never know what to say at closing circle. So I just always love these, and it's different every time. I thought this group was especially like together of the ones, the weekends that I've been to. This group was most communicative, like everybody felt comfortable and nice. Sort of, I don't know, just felt like quite soon in the process people became comfortable. And I was thinking, well, I think these things, look at these things at home and they read and, obvious some things are different about coming here, but I thought, well, as far as the content, it's that I see things and oh yeah, look at that, but then that's just, what is in me. And it's dependent on my experience and all, my consciousness. But I come here and I hear things from different perspectives and different experiences. And that kind of opens everything up for me. So I didn't ever think of it that way. So it tends to free the process up far as just the general thing, you know, what everyone's been saying, it's so beautiful and peaceful, and the food is great, and the room is clean, and I didn't have to clean it, and somebody feeds me, and I didn't have to make the dinner. So it's just really a lovely break, and just a kind of refreshing change from my daily life. So that's a very important component of it. And people are so interesting and nice, and I get to meet people from all over the country and all over the world, and that's very, very different from the little town I live in.
Bishop.
Yeah, little cow town. So freshens things up. And I'm very grateful that this is available.
Who dares?
Well, this is my second time here, and I loved it the first time, but I especially liked it the second time because I was able to understand the material better, and I love how a lot of people here have had so many years of experience and like reading his material. So I love the perspectives and the way they, you know, the way I was thinking of it was so one-dimensional, and it was great to see it on so many different layers. So that was very helpful. And it's so beautiful here, of course. And the weather was absolutely stunning. The food was great. Jeff was amazing, as always. And everyone else is here was very nice and very friendly. And yeah, it was great.
Anything that we could do to make it a more different experience? Is there anything that you see is missing, or something that you could add, or something that you?
Something that is missing as far as the material or the.
Yeah, I don't know. Just from your perspective, like in any of the areas, the program, the facilities.
I think all the components are there.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the interns in here. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
It adds something a little extra, different dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I really think it's a fantastic program, the way it is. Yeah. More time, but
More time.
yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
I can go. Just to go off of that, I was thinking you'd mentioned, since I'm here full time and just kind of living here, making my home here, my life here right now, it was just nice to be a part of the past 2 days because we didn't come on Friday. So thanks for welcoming us. It is nice to be here, and it's a great weekend and great program. So let's see. I thought the weekend went very well. Tom's videos were great. I really liked the beginning structure of actually writing out specific questions that we had to kind of give everyone a chance to think about where they're coming from, and then put something out there on paper and then write it down for all of us to see and refer back to. And I also liked, just from doing one theme weekend before, you didn't have like a specific, we're going to do this video and then talk about this topic specifically, and even now just talking here, it just feels very open, and like there was silence for a few minutes and you just kind of let that space happen, and perhaps that's why this group feels different and people are responding differently, because it's just, you know, it was a really nice weekend, very enjoyable, and it was a good weekend for me, and thanks again for everybody being here. Yeah, so that's it. And my room was fine, and the food was fine. Yeah.
Anything you would like to add, if you could? Anything you would like to change, or anything you think it would be, any contribution or any suggestion?
I don't think so. I can't think of anything. I think it was just fine.
Okay.
How it was.
Muchas gracias.
I think that for Francesca and I, living here is obviously a different experience because we are here all the time. So it's not like, oh, it's such a beautiful place.
Yeah.
You know, we're not coming from somewhere else, we're over here. But this was a really good group, because it sometimes it can be sort of a struggle to have to answer questions about how is it here and all, like, where am I from? And it's good for people to know what the internship is and who the interns are, but sometimes it can like be a distraction from just dialogue, which has been a struggle at times. But this was great because everyone was connecting and everyone was communicating in a deep way. Yeah, I thought it was fine. I really don't have much else to say that has already been brought. So, other than thank you. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think similarly for me, I think everyone has kind of said what I would say. Let's see, I really thought it was good. I thought the exchange of ideas was pretty good. I've been in dialogues where that wasn't the case. In fact, the LA dialogues, I don't know if any of you went to any of those, but you know, time after time it would be really kind of hard to take because of people not realizing that it was not a such, you know, kind of a platform for them to express their opinions and I don't know, all of it. I mean, in other words, I guess what I'm saying is that dialogue can have a real downside. You know, it's like, but this was remarkably together and interesting and valuable. And yeah, I guess we're just a little short of time. I'd love to explore the stuff that he was talking about in the video, because it was like so orderly and interesting. I mean, his take on it was so present. Anyway, beyond that, of course, the place is beautiful, and the action down in the dining room and the kitchen is just wonderful. I mean, you know, people are really great. So, what can I say? One thing that I really like about this place is the fact that the public can come here and kind of get a hit of something, and they do. And that, you know, they're coming in here and they're looking around, and they're kind of, you can tell that people exposed to Krishnamurti, and this is a visit that's really important to them. They're taking something away that I think is really, really important, especially, I would say, the bookstore. And Michael Cronin is really a great resource, I think. You know, he, and the other people as well, but Michael has kind of more direct exposure. And he brings, you know, a kind of thing. It just seems like in our days anymore, the digital world has taken over, you know, and we'll go online and we read whatever, and what we miss is this kind of touch where there's a there, you know, which I feel is really important for Krishnamurti's work, because it really isn't an online experience, as it were. You know, fortunately, we have online to augment the other, but I just think this building, this property, and the people taking care of it and operating it are really important to the dissemination of Krishnamurti's teaching. It just kind of goes by osmosis or something. So that's what I think.
Any suggestions?
Not really. I think the intern program is fantastic, you know, and new things happening are great. And you guys seem to be putting out a lot of new energy. I see a new signboard down there going up. I don't know. I guess if it can be better, it will be, you know. We'll see.
I could add something. Were you through, Jen?
Yeah.
Were you through?
Yeah.
I think what I noticed with this group was there was a feeling of affection, even when we disagreed. And I've been in dialogue groups where people got pretty angry, which is okay. I mean, that's just part of the process. But I felt a kind of a gentleness and a caring with this group in particular that was very nice. And very conducive to helping people feel comfortable to say, you know, even if they couldn't quite express it as well as they would like. Put it out there, and maybe somebody else could help bring out what they were trying to say. There was a nice supportive feeling throughout.
Yeah, I had fun this weekend. It's interesting because I had been a busy week, you know, because it's December. I mean January we're traveling. So a lot of bits and pieces have to fall in place, and of course actually the month will end early because, you know, around the 20th or something already, it will end the 21st. And you have all the holidays, so there's just a kind of, my brain was during the week this morning kind of, oh no, this and this. So I thought, oh God, it's the weekend to do that. And so, but at the same time, I trusted quite a bit, so okay. And I must say, somehow, the weekend has re-energized me. Like I had fun. I really enjoyed. It's also funny because, I mean, somehow, you know, of course, there are words being said, ideas being brought out, and somehow I so strongly believe that is not what matters really. You know, it's maybe the small moments where you look afresh at something that you assume is maybe the only thing that really counts, and that the words are almost irrelevant. It's like this, we put this whole place together in order for each of us to, at a certain moment, look at something anew that you haven't looked at before, or that you challenge the own rut of your own thinking that you haven't. And that's actually the whole setup. The rest, the content, you can remember a quote, but if it's not related to your own life, I mean, somehow, good, you can quote it. That's then the function. You can quote it and maybe remember it. But and I felt. So that I sense that there's a kind of detachment from content in a way. It doesn't matter so much what exactly is being said. It is, and I do find it's quite a challenge to to explore this with a kind of urgency, it's because okay, what's the nature of the self? Well, the self is my thoughts. I can talk, but there's no. So what is what create? Is it possible? The challenge is for me is so how can you stay in contact with that? There's really the house is on fire. So you know what I mean? Like humanity, the state of our human existence, our own lives, and to explore that with that kind of sense of urgency, that it's not just reduced to new concepts or new exciting ideas that, okay, that sounds fun, yeah, that sounds, the thrill, there's of course a thrill in that, there's a thrill in the understanding of how it works.
I think I'd like to respond to what you're saying, if I may, to just add something to that. And that is,
only about, just to get, afterwards I won't like to finish, but you come in, because then you don't have to remind them.
No, go ahead, and I'll add later.
You will show you remember? Let's bring it out, I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just what you seem to be saying is like, how does these ideas relate to our personal life and what's going on with us today, at home or whatever. And I'd like to say that there's another part to that, and that is that I've seen in dialogues where people just really what they want to do is do group therapy. And I have an aversion to that because I guess the way Krishnamurti puts it is like the particular and the general, and you can't get to the general by way of the particular. So if somebody wants to tell their personal story, then we have to really include the general picture, and I think we really did that here. But if we don't do that, and it's just a forum for people working on their personal stuff, it's really something different. And I think Krishnamurti puts it as the impersonal and the personal. And he recommends impersonal. That is to say, the general thing. And so I don't know if you and I are still on the same track there or not. Anyway, I'm through.
Yeah. Well, I can respond a little bit and put it together with what I want to say. Like, this is not group therapy because the intent is not to somehow, from a certain point of view, trying to cure you or to help you or to support you. It is learning together, and that's it. Even. But what I was trying to say more is that I'm sure for my life and for each of us, if we really talk about our day-to-day life, if I meet with you one-on-one and I would know you a bit better, there's a lot going on for our lives, in our lives, actual, in the sense of conflict or problems or nervousness or anxieties or fear or, they're like the bedrock. And to talk, can you talk from that, even if you look at the bigger picture, the general, which is to me a completely different movement than you talk about that. Like from it means that I know this is not, I'm not philosophizing, I'm not thinking about this is urgent, this is my life, So like a little bit what Jassi was saying, that was really coming from, and it's a question of life and death, happiness and so how can you bring those questions into, they might not be able to be solved on solving the particular issue of the particular situation, but maybe have to be solved on the level of attachment. But then in connection, can one see one's attachment? Right? So I'm just saying that's a general huge challenge, and that is really where my interest is, and where my fascination with Krishnamurti is. And now do I slant back again? I had a good time. It was wonderful. I mean, somehow the weather. It's like the setting was made beautiful just for us to be here in this. I walked outside and I thought, my God,
I mean, normally it's not as pleasant, or
it can
changes.
It can get cloudy and rainy in December, January.
December, yeah.
Right.
But it's like it's like paradise. Yeah. So it's like the whole universe was collaborating to facilitate us. So yeah.
Paradise with persimmons on the tree.
So thank you. That's what I am.
Anything you'd change?
Seriously, I'm joking, but yeah.
So
yes, one thing.
Participants.
No, one thing I do. It's just I said because I'm also organizing here, right? And actually, every time I realize it would be better to have a week. But then we have weeks, right? We have about 4 week-long programs. So maybe we need to do more week-long programs. And maybe it would be good for me to do a week-long program. I'm also thinking, well, is that not too long? Will people be able to time it? Who has time to attend these kind of things? So that's why I always stick to week. But I would like to explore that. Maybe just try out and organize a week and see how that goes. That's something.
I think that you would be a good facilitator for a week, and this was good. And I think if you can find a week in your
schedule, that's
or
even like a Wednesday through Sunday. It doesn't have to be like a Sunday to Sunday, Go somewhere in the middle.
And there are certain days in a week too that doesn't have to be so intensive.
Yeah.
Like this weekend is intensive because where it's like very
condensed,
very scheduled and condensed, and then the week you have a little bit more time, which in a day you could have kind of an evening off and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's not so tiring.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good idea.
I mean that's a good bridge point actually, just to extend a little bit. See
offer yoga classes.
But I need a teacher for that.
You'll get two. Even if we can extend it till Monday, like stay here the night, Sunday, and then till Monday lunch.
Just one more.
Yeah, just one more. Yeah, that's very, I think, doable for most people.
Yeah.
Long weekend.
Mhm.
Okay.
I know you have to go. but
No, I don't have to go. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I would just like to say, looking for those words again. I think the way you facilitate is very balanced. You're very patient. You don't, when people are, trying to get it out, and you always seem just fine. You just let them do it the way they need to do it, and you just don't seem to have a need to control the process. And you can disagree, or, I don't know, not correct, but I guess I'll just leave it at disagree with something that someone is saying without sounding authoritarian and like saying, no, that's wrong, which I've heard almost, that's extreme, but and I think that really does facilitate the process of people expressing what they're trying to express, and people understanding, just allowing people to take the time they need to take. And I noticed at one point you were very quiet for quite a while because there was no need to intervene, or things were just going along the way they were going, and just a lot of flexibility and patience, and not being attached to, well, is this going right, or I need to intervene to, get the process back on track, or it's a nice balance, I feel.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that it's really, you have a great touch with something you don't really quite agree with. Like for instance, what I'm saying about the difference between the particular and the general. And I know several times you've mentioned that the general is, you seem to demonstrate that. You see that as abstract and as intellectual and as theoretical, whereas the more particular, the more personal is the more real. And I sense that being your, outlook. And I know you know that it differs from my outlook, which is I feel that Krishnamurti is never doing that. He is going right for the general picture. And he's insisting that is how we understand ourselves. That there's this urgency to understand ourselves personally, but it comes from understanding the general picture. What is sorrow? And then if somebody was to start talking about a personal loss of their own, could we really connect that to the bigger picture of sorrow? Because if we don't, we're not really doing Krishnamurti, we're doing psychotherapy.
I mean, it's a big discussion, but I partially agree with you. I agree that indeed one has to. The problems can only be solved on the general level. So I agree fully. But in my understanding, and I might be wrong, is that it's absolutely essential that we make connection with the actual, with the personal. If otherwise it becomes disconnected, And I can support that also. I mean, not that is more authority. I can support it with Krishnamurti's work also. And obviously it doesn't come out so much in public talks, but especially in small group discussions it does come out. But for example, if you take David Bohm's Krishnamurti discussion with David Bohm, The Ending of Time, he would say you have to start with the personal. From the personal you go to the general. And from the general, you go
I see.
do something beyond.
And see, I don't see him saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree with
Yeah.
that, because I think we can, from the personal, I can go to the general, because the general difficulty or problem, if you want to call it that, gives rise to the particular problem anyway in the first place. Right?
See,
Usually, I mean.
I want to say that you can't go from the personal to the
No,
general.
I mean, general causes particular problems.
Mm.
And then, therefore, if you start with the particular, you can go to the general.
Sometimes,
see what I-
sometimes the personal, someone's sharing something personal, it can help elucidate the general issue that you're talking about. I've
Now-
seen that happen.
Yeah, but if you talk, for example, about sorrow, when you talk about sorrow, and one has to be somehow connecting to the sorrow in one's life. Otherwise, it's an abstraction.
Yeah.
Now, if that connection is made, then it doesn't matter how you talk about it. But unless you're rooted into, well, there is conflict in my life, because then it becomes an abstraction. You know, sorrow is somebody died, an abstraction. But sorrow is my mother died. You know, and then it's not suddenly
But
real,
because
because you connect with that what really how it is, the sorrow is manifesting.
The other point I would say in relation to that is that the general is also the personal. I mean, the general difficulty that everyone has, which exists, is also your personal issue as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's
yes,
not
yes.
an abstraction.
Yes, 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 yes.
The
yes,
general
yes,
also
yes,
is
yes.
important in your life. So
Yes.
both can be
Yeah.
discussed.
Yeah, and also, yeah, so in that range, so bring this out, right? So, and it doesn't matter what kind of conclusion we draw out of it. Do you need to be personal or always general? But what I think what matters when we bring it out is that maybe when we're exploring, we start looking at bringing this question, like, hey, am I exploring personal or is it general? What is it relevant? That somehow our, there's a kind of increased awareness.
It's all
to-
one. It's all connected. That's what I would tend to say.
Okay, well, what I would say is that we can't get from the personal to the general. That the personal and the general are really quite different. They're never the same. The general is not the same as any particular example of the general. The other thing is, and the critical problem is, that the way that we handle the particular is by way of thought. And really, to see the situation, we can't do that. That we can't see the real essence of it by way of thought. But that's the way that the particular is handled. Like somebody will be talking about their personal experience, or even you're talking about feeling. What you seem to mean by real in your life is the emotional connection. But emotion is part of thought. So once again, even if we're exploring the emotions connected with the problem, we are locked into thought in a way that is going to preclude us seeing the general picture. And it seems like the general picture is sort of like something abstract and intellectual. But I don't think so. And I think if we see Krishnamurti's work, we read his work, we see that he is always talking about the big picture and having this urging us to see it. And by that he's meaning not with thought, but with insight. And so insight isn't going to operate if we're telling a story or if we're following in ourselves an emotional kind of experience or connection. I could be
Perhaps-
completely wrong.
Yeah.
Perhaps you're thinking that the particular problem or issue can only be handled in a particular way. But that may not be true. Perhaps the particular can lead to the general. That's what I think he's hinting at, perhaps, but I
Yeah.
don't know as well.
I know that's a common way of looking at it, is that the particular can lead to the general. That the
Generally,
way-
most people want the particular issue to be solved at the particular level. Generally, because they're not interested in going to a very deep level with that. But it can be taken to the deep level.
if I look at, we looked at the talk yesterday was about sorrow and attachment, right?
Oh, the
video.
Yeah.
I think it will be very difficult to look at that if you not somehow have investigated your attachments in your personal life. And then you start putting the questions. Okay, I can drop particular attachments. My attachment to status, my attachment to financial security, my attachment to recognition by my family, my attachment to certain ideas I have about myself. If I haven't researched that, then I can start putting the general question: is it possible that all attachment can come to an end? Is that possible? So I think unless that work has been done, I think the other question will be very difficult, because then we'll go into the realm of abstraction. But it doesn't need be. I think one can talk about the general from this, with roots in what actually happened.
Well, I'll tell you, when he was talking about sorrow here, I thought I saw what he means by sorrow in a way that I don't think I had before. I really realized what he meant, and what he, amazingly enough, seems to be saying is that sorrow is the loss of something you're attached to.
Yeah, he gave the example, right, of the woman who lost her child. Actually, he gave the example, and you can see, he was first in Brockwood and then he was in Sanem, just a month after each other. He gave the same example. The woman, I lost my son, I have his picture in a frame on the window. And that was his example of sorrow.
That's true, he did give that example, but it certainly wasn't from his personal life. And
but I think he's giving the example so we can relate it to our personal experience and see what it actually is, and not just an idea and a bunch of words.
Okay, but I don't think that just an idea and a bunch of words. See, I think we really, and this is just my view, that we were really kind of stuck in this thing where we are avoiding just a bunch of words, and we think that we've got to go to that place within ourselves to understand what's being said, and I'm not thinking that way.
That's that's good, and it's good, and also, so when we look at that, right, is it the conclusion that we have, like I expressed in the an understanding at the moment or conclusion, like, oh, I think both have to be there. I might wake up tomorrow morning and I might say, oh, I'm wrong. There's nothing to get from the first one. So the conclusion itself doesn't matter so much, right? Because the only thing that really matters is perception and perceiving our life and understanding. That is somehow unrelated to what kind of conclusions we have in our head.
Well, it seems like in that example that that sorrow is what we mean by sorrow is the loss of something we're attached to. That's all at the general level.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
And so we don't need to go to a particular example of loss of something we're attached to understand that thing. And contrariwise, if we are stuck in the thing of, oh yeah, that means when I lost such and such, or my grandma died, or whatever, I get locked into that kind of specific example. I'm not going to understand what's being said.
Yeah, maybe that's so. I don't know. We can have another theme weekend, which is the personal and the general. The personal, the general, and the sacred.
I go shoot up.
I like Krishnamurti.
So.
Well, it really is great to be able to go into these issues with people, you know, who care about this kind of a question, and I think that's what's so rare for us in general. At least those of us who don't live here, is like where we're living. Like Phyllis says many times, it's like we're not around anybody who is really thinking this way or exploring this way, and so, boy, it's wonderful. So.
There's always Krishnamurti online.
Yeah.
great trip.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your becoming them.
Yes, thank you.
And I'll be your friend on Facebook.
Yes, good. That would be great.
So I'll see all the information.
Good, good.
Thank
Good to see
you.
you.
Thank you so much. Good job.
Patty, I'll meet you over there.
Okay, sounds good.
Actually, let's sit on the table there.
Okay, perfect.
Fellas,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over some stuff with him at his
Okay.
table, so I'm
Okay, just find me.
okay, the other house.
Yeah, you remember my room?
Oh,
It's just the one on the opposite side.
Okay.
When Malcolm's and.
Oh,
Yeah,
close
yeah,
to the
okay.
front. Perfect.
your last client,
Okay.
your last customer.
We're lining it up.
can I just pay you for the one that